Yo, what's poppin'? It's your boy TJ. Welcome back, traders, to the channel, the #1 reacting Forex channel on YouTube. Subscribe right now and also subscribe to WillsFX. He's the first person we are looking at today. How to scale into your Forex trades. This could be very, very beneficial for a lot of people because a lot of people do FOMO in and also they don't scale their trades to maximize their profits. So let's see what WillsFX has to say.
Comments. Do more trading videos.
Here we go.
Talking about how to actually trade rather than just talking videos. So today I'm going to go through my
He's a good trader,
strategy.
man.
Obviously, this
guy.
I personally trade. I'm not saying go and do this and scale into your positions because obviously you could risk more than you're willing to lose. You can kind of mess up with your plan. So definitely, if you're going to consider even trading like this, do your research, do your back testing, do your forward testing, put the time in to see if it actually works for your particular style, for your particular entries and your particular strategy. So we're going to go over to the charts in a second and we're going to have a look at how I actually scale into my positions. I've actually used this to great effect on, FTMO challenges and obviously the challenge and verification, both stages. Obviously you have to make 10%, but because this scaling plan, you only actually have to make, around 5% depending on where you scale in. I've used this in my 200k FTMO challenge, the one that I did. This is actually the way I scaled in. So if you guys want to see on the channel a few months ago maybe, the 200k FTMO verification or the challenge, not sure which one, but I use this scaling plan to great effect. And we passed within one trade, I'm pretty sure.
Hey! One trade, Will.
Moving on over to the charts now.
Moving on over to the charts now.
Be sure to follow my Instagram.
Follow his Instagram, subscribe, link is down below in the description. We've got to shout out all of the content creators that are producing insane contents because you just do it.
There is the name right here. The name. Go and check it out. Do not get caught out by the scammers. There are a lot of people that pretend to be me. I'll never follow you. I'll never message you first. So if I follow you or message you first, it's most likely not me.
Literally, everyone needs to watch out for fake Instagram accounts, man. Fake Telegram accounts, fake Discord accounts. They're all. You gotta watch out, man.
Yeah, that's the only name or the link in the description, depending which one you look at.
I get one view, and honestly, I get people doing it to me.
That's my only account. So let's get on to the charts. So what we see here, I'm not gonna be like, okay, so I enter when this happens here. I'm just gonna show you how I would scale into a position. A lot of people say they don't like to scale into a losing position, but for this example, we're going to act like it is a losing position. So let's say my target was this previous low down here, which was obviously the New York low. And then, let's say we entered at this area here, just for the example. And for GU, I always use 10 pip stop loss, 10 pip or lower. Setups depending on your time frame where.
Hold on a second. Did the WillsFX just say use a 10 pip stop loss?
But myself personally,
very
if I have
nice.
to go higher than like 12, 13 pips, then the setup for my plan isn't actually there, so I don't actually take the trade, just for risk to reward purposes. Have been testing it. Sometimes I've had setups which like 20, 25 pips, but it is all dependent on the setup, of course. And if we see here, the trade actually went straight into drawdown. Obviously we had a little drop, then price went into drawdown. And if we look, it pretty much went 7.5 pips in drawdown. This is a perfect example of where I would actually scale in. Obviously, we're not going to just want to scale in if a trade pretty much randomly goes into drawdown like this to then scale into a losing position, so obviously you're then going to lose more. If the trade is still valid and it's then giving you a second entry, even though it's in drawdown, I will take the trade.
100%. 100%.
This is where it's kind of different from the average sort of scaling. So this main position here, the main position, we are risking 1%. So if we move the keyboard a bit closer, main position equals 1% risk.
Oh, someone's getting a bit nervous on the keyboard.
A bit bigger. Main position is 1% risk. So let's say we lose to 10 pips, we've then lost 1% of our account balance. So now what I'm actually going to do is when price comes into this drawdown, obviously if it gives us the entry criteria which we're actually looking for.
Oh, damn. So this is a risky scaling strategy.
Stop loss. Let's just make it 2.5 pips because then it's a lot easier to explain. And then the same target.
Better risk to reward.
Look now. It says it's a 1 to 25. It's not a 1 to 25 and I'm going to go into that. The way I actually do it is like this. I don't know if people will be able to understand it straight away, but the position is meant to be like this, like that. So the second position, lot size wise, we're risking 1% of 10 pips of movement. So if price goes up 10 pips, we've lost 1%. However, we've entered here with 1% risk, so the same lot size as the first position. However, if it hits the stop loss, we only lose 2.5 pips. So instead of just risking 1% of those 2.5 pips, which would obviously be 4 times the lot size, we're using the same lot size, but only risking 2.5 pips, so we're risking 1.25% instead of risking a full 2%. Does it make sense? I think so. And the main reason I actually do this is
Does it make sense? I think so.
It's 1 to 25. It's not a 1 to 25. However,
So it
is
is
1 to 5.67.
basically it's managing your risk whilst trading, entering into another trade, but you're risking 1%, but you're not risking 1% because the SL is smaller than actually 10 pips. Therefore, you're gonna risk like 0.25, whatever he said. So it works. The problem is, if you get this wrong too many times, then you're gonna be, hitting hitting multiple SLs. Even though it's not a full 1%, you're still gonna be hitting them. And also, you're not always right in the markets, So if this trade goes wrong, if you just you could get 10 trades in a row wrong, and then because you've entered 0.25%, you're gonna lose an additional 2.5. But risk to reward does actually play into account for this strategy. So this is pretty much. It would only work if you're actually the trader itself. If you're following signals, then you couldn't do this as a signal provider. You couldn't just say you enter here, then enter again. Move. I mean, I guess you could. Let's see what he says.
So on this trade, instead of making 1 to 5, we scaled in. We risked 0.25% extra per position, per trade, and then instead we've made 11 point, pretty much 12%.
The thing is, what I'm struggling is here, right? When I look at this trade, okay, pull back, great. You wouldn't know that it's going to come up and then down again, apart from using this area right here as a collection of orders for then bearish downtrend. Now, what you would do is you wouldn't even hold both trades. If this trade comes in, this goes back to entry, you would close this out, risk-free this one, and then see if it drops. Never comes back to entry up here. It's a risk-free trade. There's no such thing as risk-free in life and make money. So that's why Forex markets are insanely good to make money. Now, that's what I would do. So instead of holding 2 trades, you've got the shit entry, you re-enter it again, you close this one out, SL entry, risk-free.
So risking to the one.
He'll probably say that as well.
If we won and just left it, no scale-ins, we would have made 5.67%. But we used the scale-in, risked an extra 0.25%, and made an extra 6.3% profit. So then you're risking 0.25% and make 6%. If you look at the risk to reward on that, that is absolutely beautiful. So that is kind of how I scale in, but obviously there's going to be situations where you wouldn't want to do it. So let's say you're entering a buy at this level, and then price starts going down in drawdown. You wouldn't want to then just get in on an impulse candle. You want to have set confidences to actually get into that trade. And this is what a lot of people don't understand. They'll have their losing position. If I show an example here, they'll have their losing position going up, 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 up. They're trying to sell. Let's say they're selling here. Price will go against them. They'll just enter.
And because it's bullish, it staggers.
We're still having that set stop loss. But we're just minimizing our risk from a scale in and maximizing our profit. The only time I wouldn't actually use this is on prop firms, the actual funded stage. With the funded stages, I'm looking to risk 0.5 to 1% of my account no matter what. Even if I get perfect scale in, I'm not going to risk it, because the main aim of actually having the funded accounts is to obviously preserve the capital and not lose the funded account. So if you can make it so you don't lose the account, perfect, then you can just obviously make profit. But if you're risking 1% each time on a funded account, you have 10 chances to blow the account. You can lose 10 trades in a row. If you're risking 0.5%, you have obviously 20 chances, and 0.25%, you obviously have 40 chances. I wouldn't say do this on a funded account. I wouldn't say do this on a challenge or verification if you're not experienced, and if you haven't actually backtested it thoroughly. You need to understand when your scalings actually work, when to actually going with that 0.25% extra risk, and just make sure that in the long run, if you lose like 10 scalings in a row, that's 2.5% you've lost.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
If you obviously win one, you should make more than 2.5% on it anyway, based on your risk to reward.
Yeah, but the thing is, you're losing 2% every trade. 1.25% every trade. And then slippage and stuff like that. It's a good strategy. That's why this is a good video to everyone to watch and understand what Will's actually trying to say is that you're going to be risking 2%, but you're actually risking 1.25%, which means your risk to reward is insane and your losses are minimal. You could lose 10 in a row and you might not. It's just everyone has their own strategies. This is just a smart way to scale in. And that's basically what he's basically saying. How to scale in the safest possible way trading Forex.
So it's a bit hit or miss. I found it works perfectly on certain setups. This doesn't really happen every single day. I'd say like in a month it probably happens maybe once or twice in a month where I'd actually get the scaling opportunity. But I did just want to share it with you guys. A lot of people are actually interested in my sort of trading, how I get my positions, because a lot of times I post on Instagram my trade. I have an entry here and an entry here, and people are like, why didn't you just put your lot size as one entry? And obviously they're the same lot size, but they're split. So they're like, oh, why didn't you just put 20 lots instead of having two 10 lot positions? And obviously this is why. That's why I made a full video on it, rather than just replying to every single person's DM. So if you guys did find this useful, be sure to like the video. And
great video, WillsFX.
Catch you guys in the next one.
Subscribe to Will. Honestly, he's like 19 years of age. He's the GOAT, 32.2k. He's going to get 100k by 2023 easily. This guy needs to upload a bit more. All jokes aside, he uploads a lot. Great video. That's how to scale into trade safely and maximizing your profits. It's been your boy TJ. Subscribe to this channel. Uploading one every 2 days now because 2 a day is quite intense. And I've got more stuff to work on like my main channel because too many people are asking me to use members signals and other people's signals to see if I can pass challenges and all that sort of stuff. So subscribe, link in the description to my main channel. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in a bit. Peace, much love, take it easy.